parts of each triangle. And by parts, I'm either talking about the sides or the angles. So if you look at the top of these notes, it says prove triangles congruent by SSS. That's going to be the first one we learn. That is called side, side, side. And what that is saying, which is kind of, hopefully this one's common sense, it says if three sides of one triangle are congruent to three sides of a second triangle, then the triangles are congruent. So if I know that side AB is congruent to the side RS, the side BC is congruent to the side ST, and the side CA is congruent to the side TR, then I know those two triangles are congruent, and when I write the congruency statement, all I have to do is make sure I write it in the correct order. So if I have ABC, I would have to have RST, right? Because if I wrote something besides triangle RST, that would not give me the right answer, because I would not be talking about these sides in the correct order. Right now, we're going to skip this proof. We'll come back to proofs later next semester. But all I'm worried about today is if you can figure out if it's side, side, side or not. Now, when I say that, there's a bunch of different things. I don't want to say a bunch. But there are some things that you have to just know on your own to know if this side is congruent or not. So if I'm looking at number 1, it says decide whether the congruence statement is true. Explain your reasoning. Well, I have to look and see if these triangles are congruent. Is 9 congruent to 9? It is. So you need to make your marks on each of your sides that are congruent. So 9 is congruent to 9. 8 is congruent to 8, so I'm going to put 2 on both of those. Now, my two triangles here. LK is a side in both of those triangles, right? Well, if it's a side in both of those triangles, is LK going to be congruent to LK? It is, right? So anytime two triangles have the same side, that's going to count as one of your congruent sides. And what I want you to do, this will make more sense next week, is whenever you make a dash, write a little S beside that, because you know you're talking about sides. Next week, this will help a lot whenever we start doing sides and angles at the same time. But then, for this one, so I've already said both of these two triangles are going to be congruent, right? But then, if it gives me this statement, I have to make sure it's written in the right order. So is JK congruent to MK? Both of them are 8, right? KL and KL, obviously they have to be the same. And then JL and ML are both 9. So that is yes. Your reasoning is the theorem you use, so that would be side, side, side. So later down the road, you'll be asked the same question. If you say yes, you'll have to choose between 5 theorems, and not just side, side, side. That's the only one we're going to worry about today. Now the second one, right now I know ST is congruent to VW, and I know RT is congruent to WT, but there's no marks on TV and RS. Is there anything that we have learned so far that would mean RS and TV are congruent and you have to put your own marks on there? There's not, right? There's nothing telling me these two sides are congruent. If these two sides are congruent, right now I have no idea if they're congruent or not, right? So I have to say no. all of the notes that we're going to do today. So what you need to do is just flip over to the back. It won't take you very long. You're doing all of these on the back. You're stating if they are congruent, so if they are side, 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 or not. Does that make sense? So go ahead and start on that. Do you have plenty of time? So at the end of class, I'll actually come by and check it and mark you off for credit.